Hey y'all, I'm Joe Lasher and welcome to the Ingles table. Today I'm going to be making my grilled stuffed chicken breast with a saucy cranberry sauce. So let's get started. So I've got 3 tablespoons of butter in this saucepan. It's already simmering. I'm going to take about a half a cup of onions, put that in there. We're making the stuffing first for the turkey. So we're going to put about a half cup. We'll put a couple more in there. We're going to put about a half a cup of finely chopped celery. And we're just going to stir this, let it simmer in with that butter, let those flavors meld pretty much over high heat, high medium heat. You know, every stove's a little bit different, every cooktop. But you want that celery and onion to become translucent and soft before we put in the rest of our ingredients. So it takes about 5 or 6 minutes for that to happen. So we just stir and continue to stir. All right, so the onion and celery has really started to cook down, become quite soft and translucent. What we want to do is just remove this from the heat. So we're going to take it over to this side, and we're going to stir in our other ingredients for the stuffing. So we've got about a cup of chopped pecans. We've got some dried, sweetened cranberries we're going to put in there. We're going to put in about a tablespoon or 2 of chopped fresh sage leaves. And then we're going to pour in some dried bread crumbs. Now these are actually just croutons that I've purchased, lightly or classic seasoned croutons. Just kind of crunch those up, about a cup of those. And all we're going to do at this point is just continue to stir this, mix all these ingredients together until those breadcrumbs starting to soften. So the butter starts to work its way into the breadcrumbs. And you can use your own, you can make bread cubes. Stale, it's a great use of stale bread. If you've got an abundance of that around the holiday season, you can just let that set out and put it in any stuffing. It'll go really great with this. You can see that's just such a nice, colorful mix. I think you can see there. A nice, colorful mix of cranberry, onion, celery, pecans. So once we get this all mixed up pretty well and you get those breadcrumbs coated and they start to soften, we're going to set this aside and let it cool, and we're going to get our turkey breast and prep that for stuffing. All right, so we've got our stuffing ready to go. We've mixed that in. Those breadcrumbs are softening up and it's cooling off. So what I've got here is a half turkey breast or a split turkey breast from the Ingles market. Now I've already taken this off the bone. It's the most affordable way to buy the turkey. I've already taken this off the bone and I've butterflied it. And basically butterflying is simply cutting the thicker part of the meat down without disconnecting it from the rest of the breast. So we've got a half breast here. We butterflied that out, and then I put some plastic wrap over it and just kind of pounded that out to where it's a nice thin and even consistency all the way through. We're going to season that for the grill, both sides. We're going to just do some salt and pepper. Make sure we get that nice and seasoned. We're going to turn that over, and I always leave the skin on. The skin is the flavor, and plus it kind of helps hold everything together in this recipe. Salt, pepper, really rub that in. We're going to turn it back, skin side down, and we're going to turn this in long ways right here. So we've got our turkey breast here, we got it laid out, and we're ready to roll that up with the stuffing. So now what I'm going to do is take just some of this stuffing in my hand here, and we're going to lay it out across this turkey breast just like this. We're going to leave about an inch around each side, or each of the edge I should say. And then once we get that in there just like that, we're going to take it and we're going to start rolling it up. Okay? Roll it up. Don't worry if a little bit falls out. You can kind of tuck it as you roll it. Okay? So here we go. We rolled into a nice stuffed turkey breast. Now, you can't put it directly on the grill like this. We're going to have to take some butcher's twine and tie this turkey. Now, some people have a professional way of doing this. I just do it in any way that makes sense to hold this turkey breast together. So I'm going to just basically go from end to end like so. I'm going to basically just tie that, not super tight because you don't want to squinch it all up, just enough to get a knot in it And then what we want to do is wrap it around a couple of times there. And then we're going to come down about 1 inch down, wrap it, pull it through. I've got a little excess twine here I'm dealing with. We're going to wrap it again, about 1 inch down. You don't need nearly as much twine as I've pulled out here, but you do need some excess so you can make it all the way to the end. We're going to wrap that again one more time. We're going to pull it through, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut some of this off right here so I don't have to work with all that. And I'm going to basically wrap it through and tie it off again. Again, it doesn't have to be super tight, it just needs to be enough to hold that turkey breast together. Cut the excess off, pull it to the side, and there we go. We're going to take this excess stuffing and set right there. Now, there's one more thing that we've got to do before we take this to the grill, and we're going to totally coat this turkey breast with butter. So I've got some softened butter right here, and I know it seems a little gross, but I'm going to just put that right in my hand, and I'm going to smash this butter all over this turkey. If you don't get your hands dirty, it's not going to be good. Softened butter all over this. You could melt it down and brush it on, but it's not going to do the same job as this caked butter. This is going to stay on, it's going to turn that skin golden brown, and it's just going to really soak into that turkey. All right. There we are. We're going to clean up here just a little bit. We're going to give this just another shot of salt and pepper across the top of that butter so we get a nice, crisp, crunchy skin on top, and that salt's going to just really set it off. All right, this bird's ready for the grill. Okay, so we have got that turkey breast stuffed and on the grill. We put it on indirect heat, which means the charcoals are on either side of the grill, and we put the turkey right in the center. And we let that grill heat to about 400 to 450 internal temperature. So you can do this same recipe in your oven and just put your oven on 4 to 450 and keep an eye on it for about 45 minutes or until an internal temperature of 165. Okay, so we got the stuffing done, we got the turkey out there. Now let's make the cranberry sauce to go with it. So in the food processor, blender, whatever you got, we're gonna put about 2 cups of fresh or frozen cranberries. We're gonna put a whole cup of apple jelly, okay? We're gonna put a whole cup of orange juice. Then we're gonna put about a tablespoon of allspice. And we're gonna put 3 tablespoons of cornstarch to kind of blend that all together, and it'll come into effect more when we put it into the pan here. We're gonna put the lid on and tighten that down. And then we're gonna pulse that so we get a nice smooth mixture. We don't wanna get it the chunks of cranberry totally out, but we want it nice and smooth at the same time. So we've got that mixed. Now, over here in a large saucepan, we've got a few tablespoons of butter already simmering. We're gonna put in about a 1/4 cup of chopped onion. And the word of the day is translucent. We're gonna let these onions become a bit translucent. All right, so we have these onions ready to go. They've been simmering in that butter for a few minutes. We're gonna pop the lid off of this and take this, and we're gonna turn this to low. Pour this straight in there and have that on low heat. And let that kind of simmer and mix all that together and heat up. And what'll happen is you'll see that cornstarch start to take effect, and it'll thicken up quite a bit. And then what we want to do, the last thing to finish that, is to pour in these whole cup of cranberries here and let those simmer with this sauce for just a few minutes as it starts to thicken. And then once that's thickened, we're gonna set this aside and get ready to present our turkey. All right, so we've gone to the grill. We've checked the temperature on this turkey and it's right at 165, which is a great internal temp. Not overcooked, should be nice and juicy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the butcher twine off of here. We're gonna slice this into about 1/2-inch slices and lay it out over this cranberry sauce. So let's take a look and see how we did today. And this butcher twine, you just cut that, make sure you get it all off of there. You may have to handle that. It's also a good idea to let that turkey rest for about 10 minutes or so, cool off just a little bit. And make sure we get all of that twine off because that could ruin the bite for sure. Nice and hot. All right, and see how that's holding together? That's why we put that butcher twine on there. And again, there's probably some professional way to do that, but I just tied it up to the way I liked it. All right, so here we go. Let's cut right into this. Let's see what we've got. It's nice and crisp. See how golden brown that is on the outside? That's that butter that we put all over it. I'm gonna slice right down into here. You can see that stuffing right in there. See how it's nice and rolled up there? What we're gonna do is take our knife, lay it right out on here just like this. We'll go ahead and cut the rest of this. Yeah, you can see how that stuffing is just rolled right up into there. I mean, oh my goodness, does that look delicious or what? One more cut. We're gonna lay this right out just like this. And here you have it. This is a cranberry and pecan stuffed turkey on the char grill. And remember, you can do this in your oven too. Y'all, I want to thank you so much for joining me here at the Ingles table. Remember, you can find so much more right here on the website for tips, tricks, and recipes you're going to love. Take care and happy holidays.